This much. All the girls stop and feel like this. We the people of the United States made a constitution to get things straight. He raised the Bill of Rights, girl. This is the Bill of Rights, girl. All men have equal rights, and don't by certain unalienable rights. He raised the Bill of Rights, girl. This is the Bill of Rights, girl. Bill of Rights, Bill of Rights. Life, liberty, happiness, happiness. Secure rights, secure rights. Destructive rights, change those rights.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We the people is the beginning statement of the preamble that introduces the idea of self-government. The idea of self-government was the basis for the government today. Established justice is the U.S. stating that under the Constitution they will have justice, unlike what they had with England. This affects us today because it was the beginning of our justice system. Ensure domestic tranquility is stating that they will keep the peace within the country's borders as well as outside of them. To this day, we still try to ensure domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense is stating that the states must work together to protect against adversaries. We still apply this logic today. Promote the general welfare means that the federal government will take care of citizens as well as possible. That pledge still drives the government today. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity is a statement that is meant to protect the country's rights for our liberty. That protection has lasted to this day.
On to the First Amendment, which provides 5 freedoms. First up is the freedom of speech. It means that we have the right to speak out or against the government or people with different beliefs. It also means that Lucas has every right to text me back, and he just hasn't. Second is the freedom of the press. It means that we have the right to write whatever we want as long as it doesn't violate any laws. Third is the freedom of religion. It means that the government can't promote or inhibit a religion. Fourth is the freedom of assembly, meaning that people have the right to gather and protest. Child, anyways. Finally, we have the freedom of petition, which means that we have the right to present requests to the government. On to the Second Amendment. I forgot to say it. Second Amendment, go.
The Second Amendment provides these 2 things. First is the right to bear arms. This gives people the right to possess weapons or arms to defend themselves. Second is the right to form a militia. This gives people the right to form a well-regulated militia. The Third Amendment is up next.
The Third Amendment provides protection from quartering troops. This amendment guarantees that the Army cannot force people to provide soldiers with room and board. On to the Fourth Amendment. Go.
The Fourth Amendment provides protection from unreasonable search and seizure. This amendment means that the government cannot search or seize a person's property without probable cause or reasonable suspicion. On to the Fifth Amendment.
The Fifth Amendment provides 3 things. First is a right to no self-incrimination. This amendment makes it so people cannot be forced to testify or incriminate themselves. This is what people are referring to when they plead the Fifth. Second is a right to no double jeopardy. This amendment makes it so that if a person is acquitted of a crime, they cannot be tried for it again. Third is a right to eminent domain. This amendment makes it so that the government can only take someone's land if it benefits society. For example, the government condemning a person's land in order to build a highway. Next, the Sixth Amendment.
The Sixth Amendment provides these 3 things. First is a right to a speedy trial. This makes it so that people have the right to have a trial in a reasonable time frame. Second is a right to cross-examine. This makes it so an accused person has the right to cross-examine their accuser. Third is a right to know your accuser. This makes it so people have the right to know the identity of their accusers. On to the Seventh Amendment.
The Seventh Amendment provides civil trial for damages over $20. This amendment makes it so that a person can have civil, non-criminal trial if there are damages that amount to greater than $20. Next is the Eighth Amendment.
Up next is the Eighth Amendment, which provides these 2 things. This is Bill, this is Ted. They'll be explaining today.
First is the right to no excessive bail, which means that the government can't charge an unreasonable amount of money. Second is no cruel and unusual punishment, which means you can't have your brother fight you to the death. Okay, break it up. Break it up. Break it up! On to the Ninth Amendment.
The Ninth Amendment provides unenumerated rights. This amendment is a statement saying that just because rights are not explicitly stated in the Constitution does not mean that we don't have them. For example, the right to privacy. And finally, the 10th Amendment.
The 10th Amendment provides state rights. This amendment means that any power not granted to the federal government goes to the states. For example, education.
This much. All the girls stop and feel like this. We the people of the United States made a constitution to get things straight. He raised the Bill of Rights, girl. This is the Bill of Rights, girl. All men have equal rights and owned by certain unalienable rights. He raised the Bill of Rights, girl. This is the Bill of Rights, girl. Bill of Rights, Bill of Rights. Life, liberty, happiness, happiness. Secure rights, destructive rights.